What is your if I won the lottery purchase? A simple cabin in the woods. I'm fucking tired of my life right now. I just want to hang out with my dog while picking chanterelles. Anyone notice how most people's choice is a house, mine included? Kinda sad. Buy my mama a house, spend the rest on PCP. Pay off debt. Replace teeth. Finally. See the doctor. Buy car and house that I can still afford if I didn't have any money at all. My wife and I talk about this a lot. We wouldn't even move. We would just quit our jobs, pay off our debts for a personal chef. Doing whatever we want all day and coming home to delicious meals cooked with a variety of healthy ingredients any time we want them would be an absolute life changer. Purchase? Nah. I'd fund story rich, adventurous treasure hunts. Some on the local level. Others that would span the world. A fucking reliable car. My shit is fucking broken down right now, waiting on a tow truck. A ocean view house on Vancouver Island. Really expensive Dijon ketchups. A bunch of people I love are getting their mortgages paid off. WinRAR. I did win the lottery. Kind of. It was only high five figures. But I was 20 at the time, so it felt like I won the Powerball jackpot. Bought 2 motorcycles and a Civic C. All second-hand, of course. I didn't actually win the Powerball, lol. But when you're 20 and you have a motorcycle and a car, you're essentially Bill Gates. Then I just retired for a year and traveled around for a bit. Nothing too crazy. Land. And I'm building a house. Man, I just want small house and isolate myself to draw. But drawing without worrying about anything. That will be bliss. A small house on a large piece of land. A fuck off leave me alone sign. There's this absolutely amazing piece of property somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains. I think it's about 400 acres. And it has 3 waterfalls. That's what I'd buy. I would go to a Barrett-Jackson auction and buy a fully restored antique car. Wherever my ex works, so I can fire her. I am visiting the Titanic. I guess at this point, I want a simple life. I'm so tired. My wife and I currently being exhausted with business. Might sound shallow, but a Rolex. I always wanted one, but just one too. I'm 60 years old and I've never had a new car. Always muddled through with used cars. Would love to get something brand new with a warranty. Honestly, I have a friend who let me live on his couch when I was a homeless teenager. And without that help and his influence in general, I'd probably be dead. He's doing well financially, but I'd assuming I have enough to do so without pissing off my wife. Give him a few $1 million. 2 chicks at the same time. I would buy all the Real Housewives franchises and make sure they are never aired again. A house. A Harley for my dad. We didn't have much growing up, so he sold his motorcycle just to pay for a family trip to Disneyland. He never got another. And he loves motorcycles. It obviously never hit me how selfless that was till I was much older. So yeah, a Harley for my dad. I'd build a home out in the boonies that I could pass on to my children when I'm long gone. Buy some alpacas. A few goats. All that. Maybe start a little roadside veggie stand. Voo. Pay off my debts if it's a small win. A bigger win. I'd pay off debt and buy a house. Something reasonable. But with an entire reading room. Just for me. I'm in America. I'd buy healthcare. Buying me and my mom a all expenses paid trip out of the country. Greenland. It's not as much a purchase as it is a promise you will never see me again. Land to build a state-of-the-art animal shelter for abused dogs and cats. An apartment in Paris. 120 ounces of chocolate pudding face holding back tears. Can I batch fixed teeth, spinal repair, and LASIK into one purchase? Abandoned missile silo. I would then attempt to bankrupt myself by building a Batcave. A car. Or 2. Or 5. A house. Go to that place in South Korea that clones pets. And have my late dog cloned so I can have 8 of him. I don't care that he was 150 pounds and cost me a ton of money and food. He was my son and I miss him dearly. So if I had lottery money, I'd be bringing him back. Healthcare for my wife who has cancer. Estate attorney. Cadillac CTS V5 Blackwing. Nothing major but definitely nice. Assuming it's that 1.2 billion jackpot, I'm buying myself a senator and a couple congressmen. Depends how much I win. But if I could, I would pay off my mortgage and buy a second home. Rent out my current home for relatively cheap. A nice light wheelchair. My current one is heavy. Paying off my people's debt and abruptly moving far away from them. Engagement ring for my GF. I've been trying to save up for one for years and don't know if I'll ever be able to afford one. Thick cut bacon 100. Pending the amount. Assuming it's a can fuck off and do what I want with my life. I've always been Magic the Gathering player, but the area I live in isn't the greatest and can't really be supported well enough. So I'd love to be able to open a shop and support local players. But able to have some staff and not care about the store's income but also know we're going to continue having a roof over our head. Big fake titties. I'd buy some property downtown in this small city I live in. I'd make some mini homes just big enough for a shower, fridge, TV, and bed. I'd let the homeless stay there at night. Hire a team that washes the buildings every day after they leave and get them ready for the next day. Feed them. Get people to come out every 6 months for physicals and dental and stuff like that. Help the ones who can work find a job. Help the ones who can't with physical therapy and mental health. I've been so blessed in life that if I had money, this is how I'd spend it. I rarely play the lottery, but when I do, this is my intention. Ideally, it should be a profit-making business so I can spend money for whole life. This assumes it's one of the big lotteries. Pay off our house. Buy land and build. Sell house. Set up a medical account and an education account that everyone in the family can use. No more medical or student debt. Each kid gets a nice house and either a new car or their car paid off. Everyone gets house cleaning services. Money set aside to grow for their retirement. Each kid gets a set amount that will grow, which they'll get when we die. The rest goes into a charitable foundation to help my community and others around the world. Edit spelling. A reproduction Mach 5. I shit you not. Then I'd buy a condo at the beach, but a Mach 5 comes first. A cabin with a workshop in it so I can spend time in the forest building metal sculptures. Just pay off my debts, and just be as on the down low as possible. How poor am I that I can't fathom having money left over after paying all bills off? The houses on both sides of a jerk I worked with. Then rent them to lowlifes for $1 a year. Literally anything my mother wants. A mansion with an entire sensory wing for my autistic son. Move out of this accursed country. Hookers and cocaine. Get all of my cavities out and get good work done in my teeth, then buy a house. A piece of fenced land with a roofed-over parking pad, hookups, and an RV. New small house, leaving husband. small pepperoni passion and a 1.25L bottle of Coke.